Hello, and welcome to episode 105 of Attenuation, a beer podcast. My name is Jason, and I'm joined by my best friend since 8th grade, Steven.
Hello.
How's it going, sir?
Good.
Did
Did I say the right thing? I said the right thing.
Yeah, you did perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, you
I was
look
gonna
good.
make a joke. We're on. So last time was the first time we did video, and I was woefully unprepared. I was just disheveled, unshaven.
Yeah, he's got his hair done today.
So today my hair is combed. It's still quite. I need a haircut, but I got my hair done. I'm in my very well-appointed library. That's not real.
Yeah, you're like floating in front of the library.
Yeah, so you can't see my messy.
It's like bad
office.
CGI. But I like it. Yeah.
So
I like it.
We're much more prepared for video today, but it's fun because I like to be able to show the beards like that. So
Yeah. Yes, I'm working on the YouTube channel. It's a work in progress.
okay, yeah, I'm excited.
Content creation and social media. It's like bane of my existence. It's really, truly awful.
No country for old men, Steven.
Yeah. So, I know. I'm an elder millennial here trying to navigate TikTok.
Yuck.
Yeah. It's not easy.
You're also
Like
joining on
Instagram
the,
stories. What is?
Yeah, I know they have real stories and I don't know.
It's too much.
It's too complicated.
Threads now? Threads? Are you on Threads?
I joined it briefly, and now
It's terrible.
they constantly try to get me to rejoin through Instagram.
Yeah.
They'll like clickbait you. They'll be like, "You have 4,000 new followers on Thread." Not that many, but they say anything.
It's
they
like
can to
so
try to
I'm
get you to click.
yeah. I'm not I've never been a Twitter user ever.
Mm-hmm.
Not one ever. X now, formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah.
I never used it, not one single time, and I feel like Threads is Twitter,
It is. It's just
basically.
yeah.
You know, where like it's more of that like throw your random thought out on there, and then people reply to it, and it is the worst thing about humanity
Mm-hmm.
possible, where you just
Oh, yeah.
throw out some random thought, and now it's on the internet, and thousands of people can just like rip you a new one, or take it out of context, or pretend to know better than you, or judge you based on this one statement, and whew, it is too much.
Yeah, I know. It's like the
Not a
if there's
place for a beer podcast.
No. If there's like a continuum of social media, Twitter's on like the most extreme end,
Yeah.
and then like
yeah, I don't mind Instagram. I've kind of Facebook is like too old now. You know, Facebook's just stupid now.
yeah, I deleted mine.
I just kind of live on Instagram,
yeah.
but yeah, but Threads terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. The user count spiked really high when it first launched, but then I think within like 2 weeks it had kind of collapsed.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Well, we're really off topic. Okay, so
Woo!
the topic today. Steven's pre-gamed.
I already have a
cheating.
beer in my hand, and it's a 14%.
Yes, this is gonna be a fun episode.
I just
gotta
made a
cut-
reel. Did you see the reel?
I saw, but
I made a reel about my pre-gaming.
Oh,
So.
dang. Meta.
I
I'll
know.
watch it after. So today's topic is revisiting our top 10 beers. So it's one of our first 10 episodes, I believe. Or is it episode 12?
12.
12, yeah. We did
Episode
our
12,
top
yeah.
10s. So we'll recap them here, but if you want to hear our state of, I don't know, favorites from years ago, it was kind of fun to re-listen to it and be like, oh, it's interesting. A lot has changed.
Yeah, I was an idiot.
But yeah, before we get to
I like didn't. The bank of beers I was pulling from
oh yeah,
was so small that, yeah, it's a whole new ball game
I can't wait to
now.
see your. I'm so excited to see your new top 10. I worked on mine for
You,
like an hour
I am gonna
yesterday.
blow your mind. I think.
I'm still unhappy with mine, but we'll see. It's fun. We should do it like every 2 years or something like that.
Yeah, it's been three
Okay.
years now. 3 years.
I know it's crazy.
Crazy,
Look at
right?
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so I gotta. So before we get to that, we gotta do the best part of the podcast, which is the drink and beer segment. I gotta catch up to Steven. He's way ahead of me.
yeah,
So-
good luck.
The way this works is I introduce my beer and give nose notes. Steven does the same, and then we cheers. There's the Magic Studio pause that you don't see, and then we give our tasting notes. So today, I'm drinking. I'm so excited about this. It's New Belgium's Transatlantic.
Ooh. He didn't tell me what he was drinking today because
I told you you're gonna like
for
it.
this exact reaction.
Yeah.
So this you know what's great is on my beer fridge, I have all the caps. I turned the caps into magnets,
Yeah.
and one of my caps on there is the Lips of Faith caps because
Awesome.
that's what New Belgium used to call like Les Terroirs, La Folie,
Yes.
and Transatlantic Creek. I think was in that, and there's a couple more. But anyway, they're sort of like they're good beers. I call them. It used to be called the Lips of Faith series. I don't think they call it that anymore, but gorgeous.
Color. Yeah, it
man.
used to be called Lips of Faith. That's really cool. You have the cap because it's gone. Because the way it's labeled now is, I don't even know if they do any kind of like special labeling on it. And I realize this one's a couple years old. It's the 20 anniversary one, so I think this came out a couple years ago. But I picked it up at the bottle. I went to the Davis Bottle Shop, which I don't usually go to. It's a little disappointing, but they had a number of these. And I had told Stephen I've had this before because I was really into the Lips of Faith, but I never really appreciated what this was until we did our episode where we talked about Creek. And
Yeah.
what makes this beer so cool and why it's called Transatlantic is that half of the beer in this bottle comes from Belgium and half of the beer in this bottle comes from New Belgium. So it's literally half of the beer in this bottle took a trip across the Atlantic Ocean. So it's kind of this joint project. And we kind of talked about it. You got to go back to listen to the episode. But the people that make Creek, New Belgium kind of went and talked to them. And they were so excited about like just... Because, you know, like champagne, for example, you can only call it champagne if it comes from a certain region in France. They're like really strict about that. But for whatever reason, the people that make Creek are really cool. And they're like, yeah, do it there. Like the terroir will be different. Because like, you know, a lot of it is going to pull from the local environment. It's kind of like...
Yeah.
how the whole Creek style works, and you know, there's the local cherries and stuff like that.
Right.
There's just something so cool about them blending. It's like the old country, you know, breweries that, you know, go back hundreds of years, and then New Belgium, which is obviously their name is derived. They're paying homage to where they were inspired from, but the two of them working together is so cool. So now I'm going to drink this and actually appreciate what I'm drinking.
Nice.
Smells so good. Super jammy. It smells so good. It smells like cherry pie. Jammy, tart. A little bit of like that funk. You know it's gonna be sour when you can smell that funk. A little oak barrel. Kind of smell the... Oh, I'm ready for it, Steven. But I'll wait for you to introduce your beer.
All right. So I was really banking on getting a Tabor box today. We'll
Yeah.
talk a little bit more about that in maybe story time with Steve or something. But anyway, did not get my beers today. So beer fridge is running a little thin, but I do have a other half
Ooh.
IPA. So I'm
It's
good.
not that thin. The fridge isn't that thin if you have other half IPA in there. Yeah.
This one is called Comfort Hops. It looks like the Waffle House sign.
I love that.
Yeah. This is a double dry hopped Imperial IPA. The hops are Mosaic, Citra, and Galaxy. And yeah, and its other half. So should be good. It is 8.5%.
Ooh, nice.
I'm spilling it all over the place.
We're not capturing that on camera, don't worry. Ooh, beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful head. Nice, real hazy, sort of light orange color. Ah, the aromas are great, like candied orange, tropical, like passion fruit. Maybe a little cantaloupe in there too.
Ooh, I like that. I love when there's melon in an IPA.
Yeah, really good.
All right. Well,
Cool.
cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, this is good. I forgot to mention when I was describing the beer, I looked it up really quick while we were tasting. The brewery it comes from, there's a 130-year-old Lambic brewery in Belgium. I'm not going to even try to pronounce it, but that's where they get the Lambic, and then they blend it with cherries. That's what makes it.
Come on, just try. Just try.
It's no.
Just
We'll put it in the show notes. Then they put the cherries. That's what makes it Creek. And then they ship it over, and then New Belgium blends it with their golden sour ale, which they age for 1 to 3 years in their foeders. So it's technically a 50% sour golden and 50% cherry lambic.
Okay.
So
no cherries from New Belgium. It's just
no, the cherries come in.
Cherries are already
cherries.
from the.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's interesting in that way. I like it. It's opens with like very tart, sweet, jammy cherries, and you get a little bit of like that lemon kind of sourness, and then it develops into a little bit of that funky yeast yogurt flavor. You get a little bit of the barrel, and then the finish is almost like green apple, like a little bit bitter, a little bit sour. It's good. I like it. I wish it was a full creek, so it was like way more cherry. But I think it's cherry enough.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I like it. It's fun, and then obviously it's just fun to appreciate the parties working together. It's definitely good. I give it a thumbs up. I'd drink it again for sure.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good one. That's one to get when you see
It's
it
fun.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Mine is okay. A nice this is the other half hazy. It's kind of pillowy mouthfeel. It's definitely feeling that like sort of oat base, kind of like a thick, chewy, but light feeling. Some sweet orange, more mango in the flavor profile. Some apricot, and then just a touch of pine, but pretty minimal. What starts out pretty sweet, kind of finishes pretty dry for the most part, but it certainly tries to be sweeter than it is. It's okay.
You don't like
it? Yeah. I mean, this is like truly the like other half hazy.
It's like their
mill.
basic. Yeah.
It's like Citric Galaxy Mosaic. Okay. Like, I mean, this is not all Citra everything. This is not all. I mean, this is not a maximized. This is one that they just pumped into their lineup. You know what I mean? So, I don't. It's not blowing me away. It's good. It's very solid, for sure. Okay. But nothing noteworthy.
Nothing like super special.
No, it's the other half hazy.
Would you drink it again?
No.
Just that's thumbs down. I think.
That's a
thumbs
down. I would never pay for this again.
Okay.
Ever.
That's a thumbs down, Steven.
I mean, it's gonna be gone.
Sure.
Can I tell you about my parabola, though?
Yeah, I want to hear about because that's what you were drinking in the pregame.
Yeah. 2024
What did
parabola.
you? Oh, I actually really want to hear what you think about 2024, and then I'll tell you my thoughts on it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I will say, I the one thing I miss is the black cherry note, which usually is a pretty big staple of parabola. I was not getting that as much.
It was
I was
different.
getting
this
a
year.
little bit, but
It
less.
was different. Yeah.
But man, the barrel is perfect.
Okay.
It's perfect.
We had a similar
The
experience.
beer is perfect. I mean, truly, like the chocolate, like the way the chocolate comes across, it's like this balance, like because sometimes like the dark chocolate comes in, and then you'll drink a stout that's more like sort of milk chocolate Hershey syrup kind of, and this is just like right in the middle. It's like, is this dark chocolate? Is this milk chocolate? Like, it's like rides that balance so well. The barrel just is perfection. It's like a little bit of it's whiskey, but it's just not. It doesn't kill you with it. It's so balanced. Perfection. It's so good. It's gone.
Yeah. You drink it all.
I do have another one coming though. So.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, I had notes on it, but I definitely noticed the barrel too, and it was like smoky a little bit this year. I don't know if you had that experience.
I didn't pick that up really. Yeah, no, I
Okay.
know you had mentioned that. So I kind
Yeah.
of looked for it.
Yeah,
I didn't really get that.
I
No.
can imagine it. But yeah, it tasted different this year. But I'm glad you liked it. I actually felt like, I like some of the older. I still really like that stuff. It's really good. But this year was not my favorite. I think.
Yeah.
But I'll buy the 2025 one. Like that's just you don't really pass up on that beer. So, but I'm glad you like the 2024, and I'm glad you have another one coming.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So
It was really good.
we'll give that one a thumbs up because you just drink that one today too. So it's a
For
two
sure.
thumbs up day in a way. Okay, so
I
our
told
next
you
one-
my beer fridge was getting light. Okay.
Okay, so next we have.
I didn't have anything
postscripts.
special like Transatlantic Creek, right?
Yeah, this is a lucky find. Actually, it's funny because I really did drink my cellar down to almost nothing, and then I had this massive Tavor crate, and I went to Total Wine, and then yeah, it's replete again.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Built that back up again.
I
Good.
gotta keep drinking it. So next we have postscripts, beer news, and storytime with Steve. We do have a postscript. So postscripts when we kind of go back and either fix a mistake from a previous episode, or if we didn't know anything, or we we don't know anything. If we didn't know something,
True.
we'll yeah, that's also true. But we'll follow up on it. So Steven did have a postscript. We were trying to figure out why Wakefest got canceled, and you figured out why.
Yeah, so J. Wakefield Brewing in Florida, they hold this Wakefest kind of invitational. It's very much sort of along the lines of the Firestone Walker Invitational, where they, they're really just like inviting their friends and the best breweries, and you kind of get a better lineup than say in the GABF, like that. The way that GABF has evolved over the last few years, these breweries are more incentivized to just go to these smaller invitational beer fests. So you'll see really cool lineups. So J. Wakefield really does an awesome beer fest with this Wakefest, and it just randomly got canceled this year. So we were a little bit. I was just a little bit short on the info, like why. But even looking into it, it's still a little bit. I mean, they're sort of vague with their cancellation reason, but basically they just say, I mean, this is their official statement. They say J. Wakefield has undergone significant changes both internally and externally. these unforeseen circumstances have led to delays in our planning and execution process. We understand the anticipation and excitement surrounding WakeFest, and we share your disappointment in not being able to bring WakeFest to you as originally scheduled. So, sounds kind of like a money problem.
Yeah.
Maybe
Or something.
operationally, their costs are just a little high right now, which is, we're seeing that everywhere.
Right.
So, it's not. And again, who knows? WakeFest may not be a very like profitable thing for them
Sure.
to do. You know what I mean? Depending on what's going on, or so, and the operational costs that go into that. It may just be more of like a fun thing, and they just couldn't do the fun thing this year. So
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And I feel like everything has risen in price. So I'm sure if you're trying to do like a convention like that, might be in for some sticker shock.
yeah.
Even
Well,
if you
and
get
a lot of times too, it's like you budget for something,
right, and then
like a year ago, and and then you actually start like making, actually finalizing these contracts, and the prices on all of that stuff is higher than you originally
it's
planned
insane.
for. So
I work in a budget shop at work, and we manage contracts, and we've seen contracts come back with like a 40% increase between like last year and this year, and we're like,
Yeah.
what? Like, are you serious? Never seen. Because you kind of budget in like there's gonna be like a 5% increase every year. You're just gonna absorb that.
sure.
They come back at like 8x that, and you're like, what? We're gonna need to negotiate.
Well, we're seeing the
down.
same thing. Like,
Yeah.
I work at a hospital, and that we're doing a major expansion of the hospital, and it's like the scope of it is incredible. Like, it's not only a huge new wing to the hospital, but it's also all like new remodels of multiple areas of the hospital. And I know, like, just speaking to some people more in the know, like the price that they originally planned for is just not even close to the price they're actually having to pay now, between just over the last few years. So it's pretty incredible. So everyone's feeling it. Breweries are feeling it. I know they're with hop prices are up, grain prices are up, all the front end prices are up.
Yeah.
And breweries that own their space or whatever are not dealing with like rent increases and stuff. Probably a little bit easier for them to absorb that. They can increase their prices a little bit maybe, and absorb some of those costs. So those are the breweries that are doing okay, I think. But it is, production prices have gone up. So.
All right. Well, hopefully
Jay Wakefield's feeling it.
Yeah, hopefully they can rebalance and have the beer fest again in the near future.
Yeah.
Okay, so next is beer news, and we have a couple stories. First is the World Beer Cup Awards are out, so we're going to talk about some of the notable winners there.
Yeah, slightly more valuable than the Untapped Community Award.
Yeah. You posted did you post that meme on the, or you sent me?
It was a meme posted by Haze Boys, I think. Yeah. Look, all press is good press. Okay, so if you're getting Untapped awards, post it on your Instagram.
Because people might.
But truly, World Beer Cup Award. This is the premier beer competition in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, you have breweries from Japan, China.
Yeah, I saw Japan won a couple of them.
Yeah, you have breweries in Australia, really, Canada. I mean, and it's so. I think I talked about this before, like probably the last year we reported on the Beer Cup Awards, but it's so cool to see like a Japanese brewery Brewery brewing an American style
Yeah.
sour or something. You know what I mean?
That's like based on
or
based on a beer that was like originally brewed in Belgium, or something like that.
yeah. And I think it might have been like a Canadian brewery, but they won an award for an American style sour or something like that. And it's just like, this is so cool. Like the craft beer revolution has gone global, for sure. And this truly is. I mean, again, how many? So you're going to talk a little bit about number of entries in certain categories, but it's just cool to see the number of entries in certain categories and really like what that means like to win that award. It's truly sets you apart.
No, absolutely. I wanted to cover a couple. Yeah, I can talk about. Well, let's cover our notables and then we can talk about entries. Did you see? Steven and I just got to drink 3 Riesman. It's a barley wine.
Barley wine.
That's barrel aged in rye whiskey barrels, and that got gold for barley wine. Must be not American style. Must be
English style.
English style barley wine. But yeah, so that's kind of cool. And then I randomly saw. I texted Steven about it, but there's I was just so local to me. I can get Cellar Maker, Alvarado Brewing, and obviously Russian River, and Moonraker. Those are like the 4 beer breweries like that are I can get pretty easily in the grocery store.
Dude, grab it in.
And Alvarado Brewing, their sour.
He's like, Moonraker,
silver.
Alvarado Street Brewing,
Yeah.
Russian River, grocery store. That's grocery store fodder.
They're all grocery store fodder. Yeah, and they're all fresh. I drink I was making Steven pretty jealous. I drank a Cellar Maker on like the 6th. That was canned on like the 1st. It was like 5 days old.
God.
Had never been. Well, I don't know. They probably got it warmed up and shipped it, and then it went. But so we have a local grocery store. I almost don't want to go anywhere else. They're like better than any bottle shop I've seen. They sell almost every single beer in the cans. All of it is like, all cold. It's all cold, and it's all fresh. And I was talking to the guy that does he stocks the shelves, and I was like, dude, you're doing a perfect job. Like, they need to give you a raise because your selection is amazing, and there's like everything on the shelf is fresh. Like, so you almost don't even have to check dates because and people know about it. Like, that place gets cleaned out. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So anyways, I just randomly I saw on the list. I was like, oh, I just bought one of those. It's like in my fridge right now. One of the sours that got silver.
Yeah, how's it punch, right, from Alvarado?
How's it punch? Yeah.
Hey, and I think that's where I was just talking about Canada winning. Canada won that style.
Which is awesome.
So the American style sour, Phillips Brewing and Malting Company from Victoria, Canada won that gold. So, but then Alvarado Street came in second. And then San Antonio, Texas, Alamo Beer Company came in third.
Perfect.
So, man, we're just killing it. California and Texas. But really cool to see. Actually, I will mention this. San Antonio. A lot of people are sleeping on San Antonio because it's not a huge market. I mean, you have the Austin market, the Houston market, and the Dallas-Fort Worth market. But San Antonio is truly killing it. So they won an award here from Alamo Beer Company from the American Style Sour Bronze. They won another award, Freetail Brewing won for their American Style Pilsner. They got gold for that, which is really impressive because Austin, Texas is the lager king when it comes in the United States. Yeah. Between Austin, I don't even know what it stands for. It's ABGB.
Okay.
Austin Beer. I can't remember. Anyway, it's ABGB. Yeah. Um, Live Oak. Live Oak Brewing in Austin, Texas is one of the OG breweries here, and they're all their lagers are insane, and they are very highly rated. Their Hefeweizen's very highly rated. Incredible. ABGB has won multiple awards. Lazarus Brewing in Austin, Texas just won GABF awards for their Pilsners. Holdout, not Holdout. Anyway, another brewing. Anyway, Austin, Texas Lager Kings, truly.
Mhm.
And it's because our summers are freaking hot, so that's what we want to drink here.
That
Is
makes sense.
really light beers. Um, but anyway, to see San Antonio come in and win the gold in the World Beer Cups for the American Style Pilsner is really, really cool. It's just, it's a really burgeoning beer scene in San Antonio. That's cool to see. And even the beer bus that I drive for, uh, he's really been starting to try and like curate some San Antonio based brewery tours because the quality is there. It's very much there.
Very cool.
So anyway, San Antonio, awesome. Yeah. Any? Let's see. What other notables were there from the World Beer Cup?
Um,
21st Amendment. They won
yeah, I
for
saw
their
that one.
amendment lager. Awesome. Gold
I
medal.
wanted to see.
You know, the other one that really cleaned up was Green Cheek.
They won a couple.
Yeah, I want to
I
say
really want to
four.
try some of their beer because they also did the brewing, beer brewing podcast. I don't know if you listened to that episode,
Hmm.
but they
Yeah,
interviewed the.
this was
I
going
think
to
the
be
head
at the
brewer.
Firestone Invitational.
They're gonna be there.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They won brewery, I think People's Choice. Because, like, throughout the uh, festival, you're voting on your app for, like, best beer and best
Oh,
brewery and
okay.
stuff. And they won the People's Choice
I'm so
best
excited
brewery.
to try their
Yeah.
beer.
Yes. Very, very awesome brewery from Costa Mesa, the LA area, Green Cheek. They won four total,
That's
a
crazy.
gold, two bronzes, and a silver. Their Goza, actually. Guava in Berlin. One bronze. So
Oh, okay.
just impressive.
Yeah, I'm so excited to try
And
their.
I was, um, I think we talked about this pre-roll, but Pint House Brewing, their um, Green Battles IPA won.
Mhm.
Apparently, that is. I can't remember if it's 2 or 3 years in a row they've won that with Green Battles, but it's just really impressive
Yeah,
for
that's super
how
cool.
consistently good they can be. Because I don't know how many beers were in that category, but
What's it called again?
the American Style Strong Pale Ale.
Strong Pale Ale. Let's see if I can find it. 114. It's pretty damn
That's
good.
pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, to stand out as the number one, and to do that again the next year. You know, judges' tastes change,
Yeah.
differ slightly, right? Like beers change, beers differ slightly, and they come in again and just beat the competition again. It's impressive. It's the same reason why I think like Allagash White
Mm-hmm.
and some of these beers that just win the category just over and over and over again. Atrial Rubicide from Jester King
Yeah.
winning like field beer or whatever
Sure.
they just like win over. It's like they stand out above the rest consistently. I think those are beers that just really are impressive. So Pine House Brewing, I say it all the time. People, I do these beer tours and people ask me all the time, what's your favorite Austin brewery? And honestly, my answer always ends up being, I'm always like, maybe this, like, Pint House.
Pine House. Yeah, man. I
I
love
mean,
when
their food is so good.
yeah.
Like the food will bring you there, and then you realize, like, oh no, the beer is just as good. Like the beer is amazing, and they have, they always have a tap wall full of different styles, and they do them all well. And I don't know, that's just impressive to me.
Nice. Yeah,
So
I love Electric Jellyfish. I really want to try their West Coast IPA next time we get a chance.
yeah, this Green Battles I think would impress you for sure. And Scorpion Disco, their West Coast is fantastic. It's my favorite
Okay.
beer right now. As far as like getting a buying a 6-pack or something,
Yeah.
because I hate buying 6-packs of anything.
Anything. The only other thing I wanted to cover was it's kind of cool to see. I'd love to like aggregate this data because I think you could really follow like the trend of beer over time, like what's popular.
hmm
Because you can see the number of entries, which I think speaks to what's popular. So, Steve, do you want to hazard a guess at what had the most entries?
Hazy IPA, some sort of
Yes.
vibe. New
Yeah,
England IPA, I don't know.
yeah, and the category is technically. Oh, I just
What do they
scrolled
call it?
past it.
Juicy IPA
Juicy
or
or
something?
hazy Indian Pale Ale had 326 entries. And then notably also, because I think it's still pretty popular. I feel like the craze has passed a little bit, but the second highest, I think, off my scanning of the list is German style Pilsner, 221 entries,
Okay.
which is pretty significant. And then the one I really wanted to highlight,
Yeah.
the hazy one didn't really surprise me. Well, kind of blew my mind, but I guess, I mean, the data really, I mean, I've been hearing about it nonstop. So, and here's the data to support it. Non-alcoholic had, I think, 140 entries.
Wow.
140 non-alcoholic beers. Isn't that insane?
Wow.
Yeah, it
That
is
is
really popular.
mind blowing. It really is.
Do you want to hazard a
It
guess at
really
who won?
is. Athletic.
Athletic got second.
Oh,
I actually
okay.
kind of want to try the number one. You're never gonna guess it. It's Deschutes Black Butte Porter. They made a non-alcoholic version.
So, I think Don't Drink Beers did a review of that.
Oh, okay.
If you don't know, Alex from Don't Drink Beers, he was diagnosed with cancer. He's gone full non-alcoholic now, and his beer reviews are epic. And he's been doing beer reviews of non-alcoholic beers now. And one of his the threads among of those is that the darker beers do better. So the Black Butte
Interesting.
Porter, because you're not having to fight for body
Okay.
in those beers like you do in the IPAs and stuff, where like you don't have a way to create body in the
Yeah.
beer. Like you just get like you don't have as much to make up for in the porters and the stouts. So apparently, like the non-alcoholic Guinness is not this decent.
I've had that.
You did try that. Is that?
Yeah, it's
I think
pretty
you did
good.
send me that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll see like the Black Butte Porter is pretty good, I guess. And the non-alcoholic Guinness, where you get into really a lot of trouble is with some of the IPAs and
Sure.
stuff. You lose so much body, and then flavor just sort of goes out the window
Yeah.
along with the body.
Yeah,
So.
it's hard to do, but it's a popular segment, and I think people are going to get better and better at it, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah,
So
and
we'll
they
keep
are.
an eye on it.
They are.
Yeah. Yes,
Lagunitas been making
yeah.
their non-alcoholic
I've had
IPA for a while
they've been doing
now.
that for a while. Then
Mm-hmm.
I think they call it NIPA or NPA or something like that. It's non-alcoholic IPA. Yeah. That one's actually not bad. Okay, so that was World Beer Cup. We saw a rumor about Ballast Point, which is I have not seen it confirmed.
Yeah, Jason's spreading gossip.
It's just a Reddit post I read that said it was like a someone told someone I know kind of thing, friend of a friend, but that they're gonna shut down basically and go to like tap room only. So they're not gonna like can and distribute any Ballast Point beer anymore. Which is, if that's true, that's insane. Because they went from selling for was it $1 billion to now not distributing. Like it's like the
Yeah.
ultimate
Yeah.
rising.
I was thinking about this a lot, and since you told me about that, and I do think that Kings and Convicts, they certainly got Ballast Point at pennies to the dollar
Sure.
relative to the $1 billion sale to Constellation. So maybe it was a no-brainer for them. But I do think it was a pretty big risk to take them on.
Even at the discounted price.
Yes, because of the brand destruction
Yeah,
the
the
Constellation
goodwill
had
was gone.
already created. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at comments on that Reddit post, it's just like, used to love Sculpin. Sculpin was my go-to.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. Like, oh my gosh, I used to love going there and getting this and this and this. And I assume a lot of that is still even pre-Constellation, right? So it's not like, oh, even after Constellation bought it, I still kept going to get Sculpin because it was just so amazing. I
Sure.
had just so much of their brand reputation and brand quality started to deteriorate then, and it just never recovered. Never
Yeah.
recovered. Kings and Convict, I mean, they got it back, and I mean, there was no rebrand. There was no
Yeah, there didn't seem to be like any
breathing
big
new life
shakers.
into it.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. No, I mean, it was just like, oh, I guess there's still a market for Ballast Point beers and they're being bought, so we'll just get that, scoop that back up for this low discounted price. But they didn't do anything to try to
Yeah, I feel like
revitalize
they
the
should have done like
product.
I mean, obviously we're backseat driving, but if
Yeah,
it was me, I would have.
we're so good at that.
Yeah, everyone is, right? Yeah, I would have done like a huge marketing campaign. Obviously, that'd be expensive, but just maybe even try to like do a word of mouth thing, like just, like, hey, it's independent again, kind of, or I don't know if it would still qualify as independent under Kings and Convicts, but
Yeah,
you
I
know,
think
yeah.
so.
So hey, we're independent again. Change all the labels. Maybe like introduce a few new beers, like Front Run, because everyone loved that Sculpin. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe do a new label, kind of play that. Hey, like we're back. We reclaimed it from the corporate overlords or something like that. They could have done
Yeah.
like a grassroots campaign like that, but maybe they did, but I didn't hear about it. So, but yeah, so we'll see if that pans out to be true. But yeah, and then we had one last story is Rare Barrel, which Steve and I love. We tried at first time we had it was at the Beer Fest, the Good American Beer Fest, but it's just really good. But they have had a little bit of trouble, but they're now, I guess Cellar Maker is brewing their beer again. So, and in fact, at the grocery store that I really like, they had some. Now that I think about it, they did have some Rare Barrel beers there.
Nice.
So super exciting to see. They specialize kind of in barrel aged sours. And the point I just wanted to come back to is in one of our previous episodes we talked about it, but there's a barrel called PH1 that has a legendary backstory. I won't repeat the whole thing here, but basically like New Belgians had it, Russian River had it, and Rare Barrel was actually named their brewery. They named it after this barrel. It's just this legendary barrel that's been used and like kicked off all these sour
In like
programs.
legendary sour programs. Yeah.
Yes, and now Cellar Maker has it. Now technically they're brewing for Rare Barrel, but maybe they'll be inspired and they'll start like some new sour line based on the fact that they have pH 1. So just kind of it's some fun lore.
Well, the
about,
funny thing, the funny thing about Rare Barrel always was that like they basically brew one beer,
I know,
like this golden sour,
and then just like
and then they
adjuncted
just fruit it.
differently. Yeah,
Yeah, they just adjunct that one beer multiple different ways. Which, I mean, I remember, man, they had a series called like On the Backs of Giants or something.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the one I had at the beer festival, and it was just mind blowing.
Yeah,
so good. Like peaches or something. Anyway, it was just awesome. So, I mean, I kind of give them a pass for that whole like take one beer and adjunct it different ways because they do it well. We'll see what Cellarmaker does with them.
Yeah,
they did release one of the new beers on Tavor as well. I don't know if you
cool.
saw it in your area, but
I don't because
might
it's
have been
in California.
Yeah, might
But
have been geographically locked. But
yeah.
So it's just cool to see that beer is still being made under that name. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, Cellarmaker does it justice. From what I hear, I don't know if I've had any of their beers at all, but Cellarmaker does have a pretty good reputation too. So
yeah,
I'm not too worried about them screwing it.
Yeah, they have. We'll talk about it more when we get to the top 10. But I've been exploring their range, and there's some good ones in there. So, all right, should we get to it, Steven? Our updated top 10s.
Yeah, let's do it. I have been just ringing. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but my excitement over this episode has been very high. Mostly because my list is so different.
It's totally different.
It's just, again, like I said, my range of beers that I had tried so small when we started this podcast, and just over the last 3 years, I've like tried new things. I've expanded, like I've found new flavors that I like, and I've tried some amazing beers, and the list is just.
All right.
I think maybe there's one that's still on the list.
I'll
That's
recap our list.
I'm pretty sure.
I'll recap our list from 3 years ago, and then we can go into it. So
I'll tell the story too, because I was like, I told Jason, I was like, oh man, I gotta go back over the episode and just like make notes of all of them. And then he's like, oh no, I got them. And he texts me. I'm like, oh, thanks for bringing receipts, man.
I have them in a note. I guess I have a
I guess too. It doesn't surprise me, but
yeah, because we gotta update.
I just love that. I'm listening. I'm sitting there listening to the episode.
And
like,
I just
okay, wait, right?
Yeah. I'm like, I know your top 10. Okay. So I'll do your top 10 3 years ago, and I'll go 10 to 1. Was Edge of Dessert from Great Notion.
See.
Hot-Hearted
Nobody
Hannah.
cares. Oh, Odd 13. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, Odd 13. You were really into Odd 13 for a while, and I was really into Odd 13 because you were like feeding me Odd 13. Yeah. My other vice, which I feel like this might still be on your top 10, but I could be wrong. Roland's Watermelons. The Mage IPA. Juicy Bits from WeldWorks. Reuben's Goza. And then these top 3 are quite good. I'm shocked if there's only one on your new list. Ghost in the Machine. Briny Mill and Goza, Anderson Valley. And Pseudo-Sue from Toppling Goliath. Vision number 1. And then my top 10 was, I'm not going to be able to say number 10, but Citrusesia, which was a blood orange.
Was that a Lagunitas?
Lagunitas. God, it was so good. Okay. Number 9, rest in peace, because I don't know if they'll make it anymore. Victory at Sea from Ballast Point. Yeah.
Give that one the salute.
It's sad, dude. And yeah.
That's definitely gone.
It's gone. Yeah. Pliny the Younger was my 8. 7, Briny Mill and Goza was on both our lists. 6 was Parabola, which I bet is on your new top 10. My number 5 was La Folie. 4 was Russian River Consecration. 3 was Goose Island Rusty Nail. And,
No, not Goose Island.
oh, sorry.
Fremont.
Fremont. I'm switching two
Sorry.
of them. That's Bernalillo County. 2 was Fundamental Observation. And my number 1 was kind of a throwaway, but it was Aunt Sally because I really want them to bring it back. All right. So should we go into our 2024 top 10s?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god, this makes it worse.
Why?
No, it's totally different.
Oh, is it completely different? I'm interested to see if any survived. Okay, I'll start. So
Okay.
my first 2 are a little bit biased because I know there's a word for this. It's like recency or it's
Okay.
proximity. It's proximity bias. It's like what I've
Okay.
been drinking lately.
Okay.
So number 10 is a tie. I split it. Whoa, I just disappeared. And I've
Did you
only
get
had-
so pale? What just
So-
happened?
I don't know. If you're listening, I'm referring to the video. I just disappeared into my virtual background. I was completely gone.
Okay. Whew. I'm bringing it. Ooh,
He's got a
okay.
rally.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. So my number 10
It's like
is a kind of...
he's gone.
Yeah, I'm gone.
I can still hear him. Okay, sorry. You're number 10.
No, you're good. So my number 10 is a split. I've only had each of these once, but they left a pretty big impression on me. It's Bounty from Brewery Bavana, and that is
Whoa.
a sour that they aged in both white wine barrels and red wine barrels. And it, like, blew my mind because it, like, picked up aspects of... I'm glitching out. It picked up aspects of both of them, and it was just, like... It's just one of those beers that was... It's so good, and it just had that uniqueness. And then honorable mention, so my split 10 is kind of 2, was Unsessionable. That is a beer from... Oh, I forgot the name now. Chicago.
Yeah, Revolution.
Revolution. But
Revolution.
I just loved it because it just brought me back to, like, the IPA Wars days. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm invisible. I don't know what's tripping it out. But yeah, it brought me back to like the IBU wars when the IPAs were just trying to get more and more bitter.
Yeah.
And I just kind of love the name Unsessionable. Like, you know, session beers are really popular now, but that was not a thing way back during the IBU
Right.
wars. So it's kind of making fun of that. Like, this is unsessionable. Like, you're gonna drink this and be done. But yeah, just kind of like it kind of teleported me back to that time. So I really liked it for that aspect. So that was
Okay.
a tie for my number 10.
Gotcha. Okay. I didn't know we could do ties.
I'm making the rules up along as I go.
Okay. So 10, not, well, I don't know. Not necessarily proximity bias, although, like, I've very new, like, a sort of newfound appreciation for this beer.
Mhm.
But my number 10 is Reve Coffee Milk Stout from
nice.
Parish Brewing.
Yep.
Just freaking delicious. I mean, like coffee in like it's coffee, and it's like
Yep.
good coffee.
Yeah.
A good coffee with like nice is sweetened with milk in a beer form, and it's just amazing. One of the few beers I truly just was like, this is a 5 on whatever Untapped, Beer Advocate, whatever I'm rating this on. It's a 5. It's so good. And I think coffee is going to be a theme for my top 10 list,
interesting.
which is,
Which blows my mind because you don't even drink coffee.
I know, but coffee and beer,
It does go together really well.
yeah. And so, yeah,
Okay.
Reve Coffee Milk Stout from Parish Brewing.
Nice.
Yes, and what's really funny too. This is my first example of a brewery still being on the list, whereas the beer that was on the list before is not. Like the beer has
Oh,
changed, the brewery has not. So,
okay.
Ghost in the Machine is not on my top 10 anymore.
What?
It did make my little. I did have a little
Honorable
honorable
mention.
mention list. Um, but it's the hazy IPA is not a feature of my. Is not a dominating feature of my top 10 list anymore.
Okay.
So, Reve Coffee Milk Stout has superseded Ghost in the Machine as my favorite Parish Brewing beer right now.
Okay. Wow.
So there you
I'm
go.
shocked.
I know. Already, number
Um,
10. I'm blowing your mind.
yeah, this is exciting.
That's why I was excited about this episode.
All right, sorry, I'm logging into my Untapped because I gotta.
And just so you know, I have been wringing my hands over this list for the last
I
couple of
know.
weeks.
I still not even happy with mine. But uh, it's where I'm at. I feel like I could refine it even more. But okay, so my number 9. It's so funny, Steven, because I feel like I'm so late to the game, but I'm on this weird hazy kick lately,
Okay.
and I'm just drinking like every hazy I can get my hands on. And so this one's also a little bit of recency bias, but this beer is so good. This is Contains No Juice from Alvarado Street Brewing. And the reason I know I like this one is because like I buy 4 packs of it. Because I'm just like I'll drink this beer over and over and over again, which is very rare for me. But
Yeah.
there's something about this beer, like it's got this incredible like pog juice, like mango, pineapple, orange juice. Like it tastes like you're drinking like fresh orange juice, but then it still has that like super dank pine counterpunch. Like so I don't know, it's this weird like it's just awesome because it's hitting that like craving I'm getting for the bitter notes, but it has that incredible tropical range. And I probably drank like 9 of these in like the last like um I yeah, so I'm like it's got to make the list. I don't know if it'll survive the list
Yeah.
if we do it again in 2 years, but right
Yeah.
now like every time I see this beer, it's an auto buy. I just grab them. So I've been loving
Hey,
it.
if that's not a sign that it should be on your top 10, I don't know what else is. Honestly, for us,
Yeah.
if you see it and you buy it,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I agree. Cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a man. That's a good beer.
it's good.
Okay, my number 9 is Atrio Rubicite from Jester King.
Okay, nice.
It's had to make the list. I think this beer, year in and year out, is one of my favorite beer releases. It's always worth just getting a bottle of this. The 2023, so it comes out in July. 2023 release was surprisingly sour. From all the notes I've made on this beer, this was by far the most
Mm.
sour version. But just, man, it really is just an incredible example of like using fruit, using wild fermentation, using aged hops. Just get these fantastic sort of aged cheese flavor. It's like a charcuterie board
Yeah.
with raspberries. It's just fantastic. Yeah, I mean, it wins so many awards, rates so highly because it really is that good. So I love Lavia and Rose, which is their secondary fermentation. They take the spent raspberries and they
Oh,
do
cool.
another beer with those raspberries, so a lot lower sugar content.
Hmm.
So it's a little bit lighter beer. I love that beer too.
Nice.
Just like as a not so like in your face fruit forward, but man, that the first run there on the raspberries with the Atrio Rubicide is just fantastic. had to make the list. So that's number 9.
Nice. All right. That might make an appearance on my list. Okay, so everything going forward is rare. So my first 2 were like attainable.
Oh, that's
And then
depressing.
I know. Well, everything else is like an annual release or
Gotcha.
so, and I don't
Sure.
actually I don't know if 8 will ever happen again. So I was going through my I've started using Untapped again, and I really try to dial in my scoring, so much so that I kind of like I edited a bunch of my old scores because I thought I was like too. I don't know. I was throwing the 5s out and the 4.75s out
Sure.
too easily, so I kind of
Sure.
downranked everything.
I
But
get it.
what was undeniable, and then because it was one of those beers like we had at the beer fest, and it was just like I think we went back for it like 3 times. So I'm putting it on here. It's Otra Noche. So that was the collaboration.
Yeah, that beer
between
never
Works
happening
and
again.
Other Half. I know. So maybe I should take it off the list. But it was basically like a banana. It was like a banana.
Yeah, it was a banana version of
Medio Nietzsche. So
yeah.
yeah. So, and I love, that's like my new thing right now is banana stouts. So I was looking through all my scores, and I was just like, oh, I remember that beer. I'd love to drink that beer again.
Yeah, I'll vouch for that beer too.
Yeah, it was so good. So that's on there.
Fantastic.
I don't know. Maybe it shouldn't be on there if it's never going to be made again. But it was like that and Assembled Armor, which will get an honorable mention, were like my 2 favorite beers of that whole beer fest. So yeah, that was I put that at 8.
Okay, I like it. Well, 8 is this beer that I drank today, the Parabola.
Yep.
Again, this is like a huge evolution for me in terms of putting a barrel-aged Imperial Stout on this list.
Yeah, I love it.
But it is genuinely the most cohesive. Well, I won't say the most cohesive because we're getting there, but it is just one of the in terms of a stout where you take it, you brew this stout, you don't adjunct it, you put it in barrels.
Yeah.
They're like the base recipe, and then you put it in barrels, and every year it just produces this incredible beer. Again, the cherry, a little bit of like oatmeal raisin cookie in there.
Mm-hmm.
The chocolate is always just so on point. Not too dark, not too sweet. It's fantastic. Parabola, Firestone
beer.
Walker. It's on my list.
No, I love. I'm so excited that's on your list now because it's such a departure from. Well, because one of our running jokes of the podcast is like, I'm going to get Steven into barrel aged stout someday, and now we're here.
Yeah, it's done.
Okay, my number 7.
Your work is done.
Yep, I know we can retire the podcast. So
You're gonna love my number 7 too. But go ahead.
I think there's gonna be more barrel aged stouts on there. Okay, my 7 is, and obviously it changes from year to year, but every time I drink it, and I've only had the pleasure of drinking it twice, I think, it's always like I'm always having an experience. It's Pliny the Younger. I gotta make it out. We gotta go to the release again, Steven. Because that beer is so good.
Yep.
This is like, it's kind of there's not even much to say about it. It's like, it's amazing.
Yes. The execution of a triple IPA
Yeah.
that is so dry at 11% alcohol.
I know. Yeah.
It's in a class of its own.
Mm-hmm.
It sits in a class of its own. It's its own style of beer. I don't know. I mean, it falls into the triple IPA category. I don't care. It's just Pliny the Younger. I've had so many triple IPAs.
Yeah.
They're all sweet.
Yep.
They're
100%.
Most of them are hazy.
No. I almost won't even
just,
drink. It's like
it's
the only
triple
IPA that I like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I will drink a sweet dank triple IPA.
Yeah.
I I do like that style. This is not that. This
Hmm.
is it's clear. It's dry. It gets you so drunk.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you
It
definitely
is
like
not
it.
even funny,
Yeah.
and it is so delicious.
Hmm.
It's like, how is 11% beer
Yeah.
so refreshing?
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's yep, yep,
So yeah, that made the list.
yeah. Plenty
And
of
that that one's
should be on everyone's list.
and it was on my list before, so that's a carryover.
That's your 7.
7.
Woof, man. My 7. You're gonna love this one. My
Alright.
7 is Night to End All Dawn,
Yeah.
Cane Brewing. It's so funny because we drank this so early in the festival,
Hmm.
but it just left that impression.
I remember you were like obsessed with it the
Just-
whole night. Yeah.
Just best coffee flavored stout. Again, it's just the cohesion and the barrel and the
Yeah.
coffee. You were the one that was like, "Oh, we need to try this beer."
Yeah,
had
I was
never
like,
heard
hey,
of
this
it.
is on our hit list because
Yeah.
whatever we go to first is like my top of my hit
Yeah,
list.
it's
But
always
then
like
I liked
just
it,
go with
but
Jason's.
you had an experience with that beer. I remember. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
could
remember I
not
kept
leave it off the
asking you.
list.
I was like, "Do you like this better? What was your favorite beer so far?" And you were like, you kept saying Night Time.
Yeah.
So it was really funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's almost like, yeah. It's just one of those like, maybe because we drank it early, like it set this bar,
Sure.
and then I was comparing everything else to it, but that wouldn't necessarily hold up. Maybe that I drink something later that was like, okay, no, this is better, but nothing really stood up to it. Even, we went to Fundamental Observation.
Mhm.
We had some Bottle Logic beers. We had some
We even had
WeldWorks
Fall
beers.
I forgot what it's called, but that was the coffee.
Yeah,
beer
the
from-
Ibuzu or whatever.
Yeah,
Fall,
Fall
something.
of the Boozy
Yeah,
or something. That was from Biologic. Yeah.
yeah.
Even that didn't tip the
Uh,
scales. Yeah.
No, so had to put that on my list. Had to.
I love
And
it.
again, that's one that I'm not gonna get very often.
I know. That's basically the whole rest of my list is like that, unfortunately.
So number
Um,
7, yeah, 7. Night to End
That
All
was your
Dawn
7.
from Cane
Okay.
Brewing in New Jersey. They're New Jersey brewing. They're probably happy now with all the law changes.
Yeah. Much easier to enjoy beer there. You don't have to go on. Was New Jersey where you had to take the tour every time?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
stupid. It's so stupid. Okay, so my number
All right,
6
6.
is Atrial Rubicite from Jester King.
Nice.
And I put this displaced because I used to have a couple others. My old top 10 list had Consecration and I kind of said that. I feel like Consecration is obviously, I still love that beer, but there's something about Atrial Rubicite. It's like, I feel like it's my favorite barrel aged, like fruited sour.
Wild sour.
Like,
yeah,
yeah. I just,
yeah.
obviously Consecrations. It's kind of a different thing because they're using the wine barrels, but just like Consecration did not make my list this time.
Yeah.
It's just not in my top 10 anymore. Like it was a super influential beer for me, but it's just I mean obviously Atrial Rubicite they only make it once a year, but like if I had to choose between the two, it's no brainer. And Stephen already enumerated its qualities. It's just so good.
Yeah. No, I'm totally with you there on the like. There's beers that, and again, I think there's like dual lists, right? Like top 10.
Yeah, influential maybe.
Like top 10 influential beers, right? They're like there's gonna be, this is gonna be a whole different list. But in terms of like beers, I like think about, I dream about.
Yeah, exactly.
There's just beers that don't make that list anymore, and yeah, Consecration. All the Russian River sours are very influential on my beer journey. Not gonna make the top 10. So
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was your number 6. Oh, I have a fun number 6. Number 6 for me is Belgian Red from New Glarus.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, one of those sort of white whales. We'll update that list next episode, but that I was able to get and blew my mind. And
Yeah.
that's one I think about all the
Yeah.
time. Like, when are we going to Wisconsin?
We
And
gotta do
how
that trip,
much
Steven.
beer can I
Yeah.
fit into a suitcase to bring
Uh-huh.
back with me? Yeah, as far as cherry beers, there's nothing better than Belgian Red from New Glarus Brewing. There's just nothing better. The best
Honestly,
cherry beer I've ever had.
it's not on my list, and it should be now that you mention it. But I don't think about it because it's like so unobtainable. You know, I
Yeah.
was thinking about those, Steven, because I got a story when we get to some of my higher ones. Because I'm gonna go to a beer release to get beer, and I was thinking about how to transport as much as possible. You know what you gotta do? Save the Tavor box. Because they always pack everything really well. They have that weird like crisscross cardboard thing they put
Mhm.
inside. The next crate
Yeah.
I'm getting, I'm gonna save, and then I'm gonna get like bubble wrap, and then when I go to a big release or whatever, and I buy like 12, I'm just gonna pack it into that box, and then just like put that in a suitcase and then check it or something. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's probably the best way to transport it. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. So keep that. When we get to Wisconsin, we're gonna bring Tavor boxes and ship them back to us or check them on a plane.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, that was your number
That was my number 6, Belgian
6.
Red.
Okay, so I'm on 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so mine is, and this is a little bit risky because I've only had it once, but I actually put 3 Rise Men. I
Okay.
love barley wine, and I put. Technically, we had some good barley wines. Steve and I both got some access to some really highly ranked barley wines this year off Tavor. I think Mother of All Storms is better. It's like
Yeah.
like
I don't know.
textbook barley wine. Like it's impossibly good and cohesive and balanced. It's unbelievable. Like I actually ranked it higher, but I'd rather drink 3 Rise Men because it's weird. Like
I agree.
just the rye barrel just makes it so different. It gives it that little bit of like spiciness from the rye, and I don't know. I was like, this is so fun. Like, and yeah, like technically, yeah, Mother of All Storms is like that, like a more perfect barley wine. But like, I don't know. The 3 Rise Men had so much character. I would love to just. I mean, I gotta try it again. Maybe it shouldn't be on the top 10 if I've only tried it once. But I mean, there's Ocho Noches on here too. But I don't know. There's something about it. I wanted to have a barley wine on the list because I love barley wine, and that's just I think of all the ones I had. Obviously, the one from Revolution is really good too.
Straight Jacket.
Straight Jacket. But yeah, there's something about that rye aspect that just makes it kind of weird and kind of different. And
Yeah.
to me, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, to me, I thought the spiciness to the rye, because it's like in a lot of beers, like rye beers, it ends up coming across as like a peppery spice. And what I loved is it came across more of like a cinnamony spice
Yes, I
in
actually
3
put
Rise
cinnamon
Men.
in
And so
my-
it was like,
yeah,
it felt like it fit better than like a peppery spice, which doesn't seem like it fits into the flavor profile, but where you have like this like sweet toffee and caramel, and then you like throw this touch of like cinnamon
Cinnamon
like
in.
red hot spice in there. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, this is fantastic. I
It goes so
loved
well.
3 Rise Men.
yeah.
And again, I agree. Mother of All Storms, I think, is like, I don't know, technically perfect
Yeah.
and very complex. I mean,
Yeah.
by far the most complex barley wine I've had, but it's not one I want to try. I want like to have again.
Yeah. Same thing. I was like, wow, that's
Like, it doesn't
incredible.
have the drinkability that
Yeah.
3 Rise Men or Straight Jacket have.
Yeah, Straight Jacket's a good one too.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. So that was my number 5.
Okay. My number 5, I really fought with this one because, and Jason will get this because I teased him a little bit about it, but I fought over 2 different beers to put in this spot, and it was Le Terroir
Okay.
from New Belgium,
Mhm.
and it was the fight between Le Terroir or La Folie, or La Folie, however you say it, from New Belgium.
Belgium.
So
Yeah.
it's their Lips of Faith series, their sour series. I ultimately landed on Le Terroir because the hoppy sour is just.
It's the better.
I had to have.
consistency.
I had to keep a hoppy sour on this list.
Yeah.
It's such a culmination of everything I love about beer. It's just this like wild fermentation.
Mhm.
It's these like great sort of like green apple, pomegranate, kind of like a lemon honey flavors in that like lighter beer with these like great hop flavors
Then
that
you
just
get
sort
the
of
hop.
accentuate
Yeah.
those great, and it's perfection. Le Terroir from New Belgium is perfection. Um, I, I've had so actually it's funny today. I went to Blue Owl Brewing in
Mhm.
Austin, Texas, which is a all sour
Oh, that's so
beer
cool.
company. They have some non sour styles, but they're like collaborations. Mostly everything they do. So they make all the styles. They make a cherry stout that's sour. They make all their IPAs are sour.
Wow.
Um,
Sour
yeah,
IPAs.
yeah. So one of their actually is really funny because we made fun of brute IPAs.
Mhm.
It's a style, it's so stupid.
There's a flashlight in
But
my hand.
but they still make a brute
Oh,
IPA
really?
here, and it's
Okay.
a sour brute IPA, and it works.
Huh,
It
okay.
works. So something about the souring that style actually works. But anyway, my point is that like their hoppy styles are also sour, and it certainly gave me like a little bit of a nostalgia. Like, oh yeah, like this is a style I really like
Yeah.
when you have hops and sourness sort of balancing each other. But of course, none of these
It's
stand up
no one.
to Le Terroir. It's just one of, I mean, New Belgium's souring program, their food aging program is um, above a lot. So, uh,
Well, we've been to their fooder forest.
yeah,
It's pretty epic.
it's impressive.
Yeah.
So Le Terroir, I do. Yeah, my my annoyance though is that they've been doing this green walnut one
Yeah,
lately.
version.
Like, please
I
just
think that's what we had when were there.
God,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the green
So
walnut's
they didn't have the
nasty. It
regular.
ruins it.
Please just scrap that. Please go back. Why? Stop,
Totally. No, I didn't like that
please.
one either.
But La Folie is also dark sour perfection.
Yeah.
Truly is so good.
That one is really good. That was on my list last time.
Yeah. So, yeah. So you had it as like a sort of a double,
I cut.
both
Yeah, I
those
did.
styles in like the same spot, and that's why I was teasing you because I felt like, man, I want to put both those beers but in the same spot, and I did, but I felt like putting both those beers in my top 10 was too much.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No.
So La
I'll
Folie
post.
got an honorable mention.
I just loved when it was called Lips of Faith. I loved all of them. There was because Transatlantic Creek was one of them. There was another one. I'll postscript it. I think it was a barley wine, and it was
Or
like
like
a.
1884, or
It's not that.
I don't know
one.
what
It had
that
a
one was.
Weird name, but it was like a grape barley wine. It was so good. I drank it like every time I saw it. I'll figure out what it was. I don't think they make it anymore though, but I'll look into it. Okay, so that was your number 5.
Yeah, Le Terroir.
My number 4 is new, and it's a white whale that we caught. It's the Alchemist Heady Topper.
Nice. That's
I mean, I don't know what to say about it. It's Heady Topper.
choice. I like that.
It's so good. It, I mean, some people think it's overrated. Some people like Focal Banger more, but it like lived up to the hype for me. I don't know. It was insane. Like every time I drink it, I'm like, this beer is insane. um,
Yeah. Yeah, I was impressed by it for sure.
yeah. So I mean, they get it pretty rarely, but every once in a while we get some fresh Henny Topper at a couple of the local places, and it's just another beer that like, no questions asked, I'll buy a 4-pack of, like, or maybe even 2 4-packs of. So, I mean, if that's not
Yeah.
a testament to being one of your favorite beers, I don't know what is. So, yeah, I mean that was kind of a, anticlimactic. Yeah, it's Henny Topper. Lots of people like it, but I like it too.
That's okay. Hey, also with that New Belgium, are you talking about Clutch?
No.
Is it called Clutch?
I don't
Hmm.
think so.
All right. I thought my Googling skills would bring it home. Okay, can I go to my 4? Wait, did you do
Yeah.
4 yet?
That was my 4.
Okay, 4 was Alchemist. Okay. Heady Topper. Okay. My 4, you're gonna love this. This is why I was so excited. I was like, Jason's gonna love my list. Number 4 is Assembled Armor from now what is now called Freestyle Brewing, by the way.
Are they gonna make it again?
So Melvin Brewing
Yeah, they're
has
gone,
become
right?
Freestyle Brewing is the
Okay.
name. I think it'll still be I don't know.
I don't know if it was a one of, so that's the problem.
It wasn't a one of.
Okay.
No, I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see if it's continued.
I actually
They
messaged
continue to
them on
make it.
Instagram, I think, and they didn't respond, but I'm just gonna keep messaging them.
But yes, I mean, this is number 4 for me. It was unbelievably cohesive, like an unbelievable flavor profile of toffee and cinnamon and figs, and just unbelievable. It was
Yeah, the beer was so good.
unbelievable. I mean, really. And then the barrel was just perfect. Just a really nice balance of sweet and bitter. Unbelievable. Really
I have one
unbelievable. And
bottle left.
it's so funny because you drank it. You randomly sort of found it in that like
The Wish
we were here section of the
Yeah.
GABF, and I didn't try at that point. I didn't try it. I was like, oh, he was really impressed by that beer, and we drank it together when I was at your house, and I was like, oh, this makes so much sense. It immediately was like, oh, this is why he was so enamored with that beer, because you were just like over the moon
I was losing
with
my
that
mind.
beer, thinking
Steven was
like,
what is wrong
I was
with
like,
you?
man, okay, like, is it really that good? And it really
Well, that
is
was one
that
of my
good.
favorite moments when we recorded together, and you were like, the only thing I can compare this is to Parabola. And I was like, oh, I have a Parabola. Let's go open it. And then I think even side by side against Parabola, you were like, I think I like Assembled Armor better, yeah.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
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 I have.
Yeah, I think for some reason in my head, I think some of the aspects of the
Here's the-
barrel, the whiskey barrel, yeah. Oh,
I keep the bottle.
Dude.
That's how much I like it. Yeah. It's on my shelf up here with my desk.
yeah.
In my library.
Absolutely blew me away.
Yeah.
So, I got shot up all the way to number 4 on my list.
Yeah, that's impressive. I'm excited. Well,
I mean,
have one
number
more
4 on my
bottle,
list,
Steven.
that's like, okay.
I didn't know what to do with it, so I think we just have to drink it together.
Yeah.
I think when we drink our, I have that other beer in our fridge to drink.
Oh, yeah.
In a month when you
Deal with the
come.
Devil?
Yeah,
that what we
maybe
have?
we'll do a side by side of Deal with the Devil and Assembled Armor. We'll really test Assembled Armor.
Because the Deal with the Devil is barley wine stout
Is it a blend?
blend, right? I think it is. So
Then I think
it
we
would be
have
the
to
ultimate
try
side
them.
by side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the Assembled Armor is that blend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, I found out it's the New Belgian Lips of Faith, which I don't know if they make anymore. It was just, it didn't have a fancy name. It was just called, unless I'm misreading the label, but it was just called Blackberry Barley Wine.
Oh,
Oh,
interesting.
it's so good because the blackberry. I thought it was grape, but no, just think of like blackberry and barley wine. It's like such a perfect combination. I think
Yeah,
that was
that's
one of the
awesome.
first. Well, that and obviously Bigfoot. Bigfoot I had recently. It's funny because it's such an American barley wine. It's so hoppy. I really think I
Yeah,
like
hoppy.
English barley wine better because it's usually like more sweet and like a
Yeah,
lot less bitter.
sweeter maple syrup.
Yeah,
So that maple syrup
yeah.
toffee. Yep.
But man,
Yep.
that one is good. I'll look into it to see if they still make that blackberry barley wine. But that was a good one. Okay, wow, I'm so excited. Assembled Armor's on your list. Um, it's only an honorable mention on my list, only because like if they're still making it, if they make it like an annual release, it's going back on the top 10. But I just, if it's a dead beer, like I feel weird having it there. Okay, so my number three, and this is kind of an upset. Parabola is not on my list anymore. I actually made this decision recently because a friend came over and I was like, "Hey, you want to drink a beer?" He's into craft beer, um, but he hadn't had many like barrel aged stouts, and so I was like, "Well, come to the fridge." Like, I got a bunch of stuff, and I was like, "Wait, you know what? Let's drink this one." And it's Bourbon County. It's Bourbon County because I was like, "This is the first beer that they ever put in a bourbon barrel." Like, it started the whole. Every beer after that is inspired by what they decided to do, and it's still so good. It's so good. It's so good. And he was like, "This beer's amazing." Like, it's the and it's I so the reason I put it on there too is like one, it's like the consistency. Every year it's amazing. It's so fun that they do the variants. Like I'm already looking forward to like the next release. And I just love it's very sweet. It's like it rides all the way up to like my tolerance for sweetness, and then it's probably the sweetest that I'll tolerate. But somehow it just doesn't. It doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't give me the ick that some of the sweeter barrel aged stouts do. And it is quite sweet, so maybe my
Yeah.
range is quite high. And then it just has that like sarsaparilla slash Coke, like cola flavor. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is like it's so unique in a certain way, and like it's just so good. And like I don't know. It's just so we drank it together, and then I immediately just replaced it because there's one of the ball shops has a ton of Bourbon County. He has really old stuff too. I might actually just grab one of his. He has them ranging all the way back to like 19. I should just buy three and do a vertical. But so I do love Parabola, but I feel like Parabola was one of the beers that kind of broke me into it. But man, I don't know. I think if I had to choose between the two, I would drink Bourbon County. I don't know. So for now,
All
that's
right.
how I feel as of April 2024. Something about that beer is so good, and
Interesting.
it's the original.
Okay. I like it. Okay, my number three. This is also really exciting for me. Uh, on my original list, I had the Mage IPA
Mm-hmm.
from Anchorage Brewing, which was the IPA brewed with lime, I think. And so one of my ultimate, like, sort of favorite things is when they take an IPA and they fruit it, and it comes out like better
Yeah.
than uh, really like it should be. And so the Mage is gone. That was more from a like a not having a wide range of like beer styles to
Sure.
choose from. But Overripe from Great Notion is my number three.
Nice. That's a
It's
good one.
again a beer I think about daily. This is the IPA brewed with mangosteen.
Mangosteen. Yeah.
It is just the most phenomenal fruited IPA, and it's a style when it is executed well, it's one of my favorites, and this is the most well executed fruited IPA I've ever had. It's And so when it comes to like, oh, I'm drinking a fruited hazy IPA, it's just elite. It's going to be really high on my list.
Yeah.
And it's a beer that as soon as I would see it, it's in my fridge. There's just no hesitation. If I get a chance to buy it, I'm buying it, and it's in my fridge.
It's a good one.
And it's gone in a few days.
Yeah, it's like your first pick when it's in your fridge.
Yeah, that is, and truly, that's the ultimate test. Do I want to buy it? Do I want to drink
100%.
it?
100%. Do
Like,
you want to buy a 4-pack of it, and do
constantly.
you pick it first? Yeah. All right. No,
Yeah.
that's a good one. I've had it. Next time I see one, I'll grab one.
So that's
Oh,
another example of like Great Notion being on my list 3 years ago with Edge of
Yeah.
Dessert, and now it's Great Notion. You still made the list.
They make
just
great
with a
beers.
different beer.
Yeah. They make great
Yeah.
stuff.
That whole ripe series, ripe, their regular ripe, their West Coast ripe is fantastic. But overripe
The
is
overripe
just
is the one that does it for you. Yeah.
hands down fantastic. So
Very
good. If you're listening to this and you haven't had overripe from Great Notion and you can somehow get it now.
Their distribution is pretty
so
good, I
good.
think, if you're on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we'll get it from. Well, I get a lot of Great Notion, but I saw it. Yeah, I remember I texted you a picture because I saw it like 3 months ago, and I was like, Steven, look, overripe.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. So that was your number 3?
Yeah.
Okay. So my number 2 and 1 aren't. Well, I won't spoil them, but 2 is still, or was, it's still on the list, is Rusty Nail from Fremont. I love that beer.
Yeah. Not going anywhere.
No, it's not going anywhere. It's like, it's this. I love, banana's been creeping in, but I love cherry adjuncted stouts. I love banana adjuncted stouts, but I think above all, I like cinnamon. Actually, that when you mentioned about how Three Riseman has that like cinnamon profile, I was like, yeah, of course. That's why I like it so much. Is that I love cinnamon. So there's just something about Rusty Nail. It's that it's so good too. It's not like they use like real cinnamon bark. Like it doesn't have like an artificial flavor. It doesn't taste like a red hot or anything like that. It's just it's incredible. So it's just all those amazing flavors you get from a bourbon barrel aged stout, but that cinnamon finish. Whew, it's so good. I love it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going. It'll probably always be on the top 10 list unless they stop making it. Yeah, I almost drank it today.
So fundamental observation is not on the list, or?
Well, there's still one spot left.
Okay. There's still okay. Good. I was like, oh my god, if that's just not on the list, I'm gonna be great. Okay. I thought I was gonna lose my mind. Okay. 2 for me. Briny Melon.
Nice.
Goza from Anderson Valley. This will never leave the list. I can guarantee you. That is a bet I would be willing to make anytime. This beer will never not make the list. It will probably just stick in that number 2 slot because it's just one of those like everyday, I could drink it all the time beers. It is the perfect fruited Goza.
Yeah.
Made by the man who resurrected the Goza style.
That's pretty
in
epic.
the modern craft beer.
Yeah.
Nobody does it better. I've had so many watermelon Gozas. It's
We
not even
blind
funny.
tested.
We've done blind tests.
of
I've
like
had
4 or 5 of the best, and Briny Melon just crushed
Yeah.
them all. Yeah.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised too. I mean, we have, with Texas beers, there's a lot of summer beers. There's just a lot that the beer styles that can be consumed in the hot summer months are very big here. There are a lot of watermelon Gozas, watermelon sours made here. Nothing. And I've had some decent ones, but nothing has compared to Briny Melon Goza. It's just a beer that I will buy as much of as like as humanly possible whenever I can get it. It's gone. Every can you
Yeah.
have is in my cart, and it will be gone. It will be gone in like a week. It's
I don't
just
know if the word is out on Briny Melon, but it actually fell off my list. Almost because I'm just mad. I don't see it anymore. Like
yeah, it
maybe
is
there's
hard to
a
get.
maybe there's a
It's hard to
Steven
get.
that lives around me that just buys them all. It's like he uses them, but I haven't drank one in years. It
I
makes
would
me
not.
sad.
I would not doubt that, honestly.
Yeah, there might be someone doing that. Like I see the other variants, but and
Hmm.
I'm close to Anderson Valley, which is why I'm so annoyed that I can't find it. But
The
I'll
only other
honorable
one I would
mention it.
love to see is the Kimmy, the Ink, and the Holy Goza,
You
which is
never
the
see that one
base,
either.
and you
Yeah,
never see that anymore. You
that's
know,
the
the only other,
unadulterated
yeah, the only
the
other
pure.
unadulterated uh, Goza that I just was like fantastic was Weldworks.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know how often they make it, but they make a base Goza
Hmm.
that was just phenomenal. And of course, Rubens. Rubens
I
is
was gonna say,
good.
what about Rubens?
Yeah, they didn't make the list.
And that my other vice didn't make it either.
Ruben, yeah, the Berliner Weiss fell off. The Rubens in general has lost
Hmm.
some love from me.
Okay.
We didn't have the greatest experience at Rubens.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
Um, yes, you know what I actually love more from them is their cranberry version that they release, I think, seasonally, like around Thanksgiving. Their cranberry version of their Goza is actually better than their base Goza.
Okay.
But yeah, it just didn't make the list. There was just too many other beers to put in front of it.
That
Briny
makes sense.
Melon is the only one worthy of the top 10.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
and
it's a
it's
good
number
beer.
2.
All right, very good. It
All
could
right,
easily
number
be my
1.
number. It could be my number 10. If I could ever taste Bounty and Briny Melon side by side, maybe I could settle it. But I can't get either of them. So, all right, number 1. Steven already guessed it. It's not going anywhere. It's Fundamental Observation from Bottle Logic. Love that beer.
I was worried that it was just off the list.
No.
Okay.
I mean, it's
That's
possible.
good. That makes me feel better, actually.
It might lose the number 1 spot someday, but I still just love it so much. And part of it is like, it's hard to get, but I've gotten it a decent number of times. But you know, I talked to that buddy I shared the Bourbon County barrel stout with. He lives very close to Balogic. So I told him, I think I'm gonna drive or fly down for the release, and we're gonna go together. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I'm gonna just buy like 12 of them, back them up, and drive them or fly them back, and then I can drink one a month for the whole year. Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause, I
the
mean,
brownie batter. It's the brownie batter.
It's the brownie
right?
batter beer. Yeah.
It's the brownie batter beer.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up there. I think it's ranked quite high on.
Yeah. Well, Beer Advocates, I think, is 100 for sure.
Yeah, and it's like it's number 13 ranked on American Imperial Stout. So I mean, it's
I think
well
Gaze,
regarded.
and even on the top 250 of all beer style, I think it's on it's like 18 or
It's
something
18.
like that.
Yeah, it's a good beer. And it's one of those things I like it because they and also they use Madagascar vanilla beans. So yeah, it's a good one. And they just they make it every year and it's like consistently good. I just remember, I mean, we told the story before, but it was one of those they poured for like a limited window at the beer fest. And
Yeah.
it's just like it was fun. So yeah, I'm really, really gonna try to go. Because I know they only sell it locally. You can like, yeah. So
Proxy.
I
is it?
think you can.
I think you can have a proxy.
It'll be a good test, Stephen, because you know people say like, "Oh, that's dead," like lining up
Yeah.
to get releases, but
Yeah.
I don't think that's true. So I'll let you know if I do go, and I'm pretty serious about going. I think it's in August. Um, I could definitely report back on how the experience was, if it was like crazy or if it was how
Yeah.
it was. But I think I think it is obtainable. I'm sure it sells out pretty quick, but it might take like a week or two or something like that. But yeah, we'll track it pretty close this year because I definitely want to go, and I'll definitely buy like whatever the limit is between him and me. So yeah.
Awesome.
All
Okay,
right.
cool.
Reveal your number one, sir.
My number one, it is funny how it's a little bit anticlimactic because we've talked about it already, but Pliny the Younger
Oh,
is my number
yeah.
one.
Nice.
It's just, again, a beer I think about all the time.
Yep.
A beer that it sucks. Like, to not be able to go get it this year was
Yeah, you should have came. Come next year.
just absolutely killed me. I mean, it really did. Like, I died
Yeah.
inside a little. Uh, it's it's the best beer. It is the best beer. It's I'm sorry. I don't care who disagrees with
I love
me.
how you said it like so
Fundamental observation. I don't
emphatically.
care. It's
Yeah.
just the best beer.
Hey,
Like,
it's on my list. It's on my top
yeah,
10.
it's on your list. Yeah,
Yeah.
the execution of it, the flavor, the experience. Honestly, I hate that it factors in, but it really does, because that day of going there and
Yeah, it's
being
so fun.
in that place, drinking that beer, and the bartenders are just fun, and they're drinking it too.
Yeah.
Everybody is enjoying that experience, waiting in the line, talking to Vinny. It's just like, it's just so fun.
Yeah.
And then, getting whatever wild sour one off they have, bottle only there, and sharing it with the people around you. It's
Yeah,
just,
Steven's fun. If you ever, I mean,
yeah, if
I'm
you ever go
I'm
to
lucky because I'm best
Younger,
friends with
go
Steven.
the
But
same
if
day
you ever
as
want to
me.
go with Steven, because once he gets that first Pliny in him, he's like, "What do you guys got in the back?"
Yeah.
And he'll order some insane
What?
beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that we drank with you, I think, and then you share it with people. You're fun. But you and I drank. They had what was it? It was a beautification, I think.
Beatification.
But it was
Yeah.
like
And
8
it was
years
like,
old or something.
yeah,
Yeah, it
it
was
was,
insane.
yeah, 6 or
And
7, I think, at
it
least.
was
But,
the
yeah.
most sour thing. I feel like it damaged my taste buds. It was almost, for whatever reason, it kept getting sour, more and more sour, like as it aged. It like it was one of my favorite things I ever drank, but it was so good. Yeah, so they do.
Yeah.
That is a little bit of a pro tip if you go to the release. Russian River always has like weird stuff, like either like really old bottles of stuff or like weird, experimental beer they made, and they'll sell them kind of under the radar
Well, it's like
on.
the last time it was like that, like Brooklyn Brewery collaboration.
Yeah,
Like, Brooklyn had, like, they had done their beer, and then they sent it to Russian River, and they did their beer, and they like blended them together, and it's just freaking cool.
yeah. So there's some cool little secret things you can get there if you go. But you're right. I think a big aspect of it is like I didn't even really think about this, but I mean they do bottle it now, but I mean it's quite limited. But you're basically drinking it like fresh. Like you're drinking it on
Yeah.
tap, like, and
Yeah.
they specifically made it for that day. So it's like you're drinking it as like the most perfect conditions possible.
Yeah. Well, and then, because you can get bottles of it now to take,
Yeah.
I've been able to like bring it back and give those to people. Because honestly, it is kind of a funny beer. Like, of course I would drink it again, or like
Right.
drink it from the bottle at home, but I don't need to, because the experience of going and drinking it there is plenty for me. Like, if I could just do that once a year, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll be fine. Like, again, missing it this year just killed me.
Yeah.
But to come, like, I've given bottles away to friends back here, and the reaction is the same
Oh,
every
really?
time. Of, that is unbelievable. I mean, nobody is like, oh yeah, it was okay. No, everyone that drinks is like, holy beep. Like, that is amazing. And it's,
Yeah.
so again, it just like reaffirms the reaffirmation just continues every time I hear anybody talk about that beer that's actually tried it. It's phenomenal.
It's a good one.
So it's my number one. It's gonna be my number one, I think, for a while.
We got to go next year, Steven.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come out, we'll go.
Penciling that in. I'm penning it in. I'm not penciling it in.
Yeah, you're writing it
Yeah.
in stone.
It's a little
All
weird. I
right.
actually liked going out in February for it. Now it's
They moved it. Yeah.
no, they moved it to like a much busier time in my life.
Yeah.
Like February, I'd be like, oh, I got nothing going on. I'll come out. Like my April and May's, like it's like end of year stuff, end of school year stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's less
I
convenient.
know they were trying to get better weather,
Weather, yeah.
but it's not the greatest thing.
Yeah, it's hard. Well, if you can't make it, you can't make it. But if you can, I'll definitely be there.
Yep. Yep. Well, man, whew, that was a long episode.
Yeah, it was a good one. Well, it's
I
good. I
was
think we
so excited for that.
should revisit it. Next, we have to revisit our white whales. There's a lot
Yeah.
of has changed on there.
And I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
equally excited. When
Yeah.
we were trying to decide which one of these to do first, I didn't really know which one to do, but yeah, the white whales of just not only what we caught, but like what we need to get,
Mhm. Oh,
because we've got
my list is so new now, and like
yeah,
it's like all
it's
different
not
too.
yep.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we caught some of the old like things. There's things on that list we need to get.
Even rarer, yeah, unicorns,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, sir. Well, I think that's an episode. We are Attenuation, a beer podcast. You can catch us on Instagram at attenuation.podcast. Soon to be on YouTube. Stephen will give us the details about that when that gets published, and then you can see our faces and the beers. You
Yeah,
can email
for
us at-
sure. You'll be able to go. You'll be able to just listen to episodes.
Yeah.
The whole podcast feed will be on there, so you can at least listen to episode. All like our whole library will be on there,
Mhm.
and then hopefully we'll get some video up there of
the new and improved
newer episodes.
video. Yeah.
Yeah, of Jason just vanishing.
Yeah, I know. We got to work out some bugs here. So the bookshelf's not working out.
And watch
Um,
Instagram, the reels. I will
Yes,
feed
Steven's
that
doing amazing
algorithm.
reels. Yeah,
Don't you worry.
I did a couple. I got to get some more going, but I love your reels. So I'm gonna watch the one that you did right before we recorded, right after this. But yeah. So yeah, this has been episode 105 of Attenuation, of your podcast. My name is Jason, and I'm joined by my best friend since 8th grade, Steven.
That's me.
And we're saying cheers, and we'll see you next week. Hopefully, try to record every other week, get the episodes pumping back out. So
Let's do it.
106 coming soon. White Whales Revisited.
Yeah. Love it.
All right, cheers, buddy.
All right. Cheers, buddy.